So today we'll be performing an experiment on RC phase shift oscillator. In the previous class, we have studied about, right? So oscillator is a device which will produce a sustained periodic waveform in the absence of physical input signal. So for an oscillator circuit, what you need is a DC input to establish the biasing condition. Okay. And when the Barkhausen criteria is met, that is A beta is equal to 1, and the phase shift around the loop, when it becomes 0 degree or 360 degree, the circuit results in oscillation, right? So we have different types of oscillator circuits, but in the laboratory, we'll be talking about only RC phase shift oscillator circuit. Okay. Now, this RC phase shift oscillator circuit is consisting of two parts, amplifier part as well as the feedback circuit part. The amplifier part is consisting of RC coupled amplifier, a single stage, okay? And in the feedback section, you are going to have a three-stage RC ladder network. The amplifier section gives 180-degree feedback because RC coupled amplifier is operated in common emitter configuration. On the other hand, the feedback network introduces further 180-degree phase shift, okay? Uh, so that the total phase shift around the loop becomes 0 degree or 360 degree. That is what is required to satisfy the angle condition of Barkhausen criteria. All right. So what I will do now, I will try to rig up the circuit for RC phase shift oscillator. Okay. Now, in RC phase shift oscillator circuit, okay, let me show you the circuit diagram. So in the circuit diagram, you can see that it is consisting of amplifier section. Amplifier section is consisting of transistor, resistor R1, R2, RC, RE, and bypass capacitor CE. The feedback network is consisting of three stages of RC, 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 and in the end, you have the third resistor as a variable resistor, which we have taken as Rx, and the final capacitance C. So in this particular circuit, the whole idea is to vary Rx to get A beta is equal to 1 condition. At A beta is equal to 1, the circuit results in sustained oscillation. Okay. So first, let me rig up the circuit, okay, to show you how exactly the connection is carried out. So this is your bypass capacitor. So we are done with the amplifier circuit. We are done with amplifier circuit. Okay. This is how the connection is done for amplifier section. Now what I will do, I will connect the feedback elements. Okay. So what are the feedback circuit elements? The three-stage RC network. So you will have 3 capacitors and 3 resistors. Okay. Let me first connect and then let me show you. So this is a ceramic capacitor. The rating of this capacitor is very, very small. Okay, the rating is 0.01 microfarad. Okay, so it's a ceramic capacitor. So this is your C element of the RC network. And this is your R element of the RC network. So the value of the resistance is R is equal to 2.2 kilo ohm. Okay. The design is already provided in the lab manual. So first let me place the capacitor. Over here, I have placed my capacitance. Then I have to place the shunt element as R. Then comes C and a R. The third capacitor, C, and then comes the R. Finally, you have to connect a variable resistor okay. So this variable resistor will serve as the third resistance of the RC network. So now let me show you the circuit what I have constructed. So this is my complete RC network consisting of amplifier section as well as the feedback network. Okay. So this capacitor, this resistor is your first RC network. The second capacitor and the second resistor is your second stage RC network. The third capacitor and the variable resistor constitutes the third stage of the RC network. Okay. So this is how the circuit gonna look like once you connect the amplifier circuit as well as the feedback circuit. Okay. So let me take 2 minutes of time to do the wiring connection. Okay. And after the wiring connection, I will be able to show you the waveform. Okay. So please wait for 2 minutes. Connected. Okay. A soldered circuit. Okay. So I have a setup for demonstration purpose. So that circuit I have connected. Okay. So this is what I was about to tell you. If you look at your circuit, okay, I'm not going to lift it up. This is my AC source, right? This is my AC source. As you can see, this AC source is turned off in the sense I'm not going to feed any external AC input. So in the absence of AC input, I should be able to get an AC output. All right. So my signal generator is off. So I'm not feeding any AC input to this circuit. Given is the DC input. You can see here. This is my DC power supply. I've just connected positive and negative parts of this DC power supply to the oscillator. So the power input is DC power, which is set at 10 volts level. The DC voltage is set at 10 volts level, and that is then connected to the oscillator circuit. Okay. You see, in the absence of DC, you can see the wave is dead. There is no waveform in the CRO. You'll have a waveform which is overlapping your x-axis. The moment I turn on the DC power supply, the power transient takes place. You see, suddenly there will be some random noise generated in the amplifier, the oscillator circuit. Now this random noise is having, you can see, an amplitude of 840 millivolt. That means to say the voltage is not in micros of volts, okay, or it is in millivolts, That means to say it's a large amplitude noise signal. And this is due to the high amplification factor of the RC coupled amplifier. In our circuit, we have designed the RC coupled amplifier for a gain of 50. So anything, like, okay, any noise, which is given to the input part of the amplifier circuit is going to get amplified by a factor of 50 units. All right. Now, this waveform is of no good use because it's not a pure sinusoidal waveform. So what do we do? So that's the reason I mentioned in the beginning. The third resistance of the feedback circuit is a variable one. Okay. What do you mean by a variable resistance? Variable resistance is something like this. It is something like this. This is called as potentiometer. This is called as potentiometer. Okay, or sometimes it is also called as volume pot. The instrument what you use in your, this music system, right? Min and max, you could rotate, right, in those music systems. So that's the reason it is called as volume pot. So basically, even in music systems, the increase in volume or decrease in volume used to, we used to achieve by either minimizing the resistance or maximizing the resistance. The same kind of volume pot given in our circuit as well. Okay. So now you see how this volume pot, variation in volume pot or variation in resistance will help us in achieving Barkhausen criteria. Okay. Now, as I start wearing this volume pot, you should be able to see a corrected waveform. Okay, observe carefully. Please observe this CRO screen. Okay, are you able to see? Now the noise has gone down, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But still, is it
Yes,
a
sir.
sine signal? No, it isn't a sine signal, right? It looks like a triangular signal. So further, we have to, vary the beta factor of the feedback circuit. Let us vary it further. So I'll go on varying. Now you see the wave shape is getting corrected. Okay. Probably I can stop it somewhere over here. Now at this point, let me just maximize the CRO scale. Now you see, is it a pure sinusoidal signal? It is a pure sinusoidal.
Yes, sir.
That maximum voltage is 630 0.6 and 2.15 kilo. So please open the EC Lab manual. Uh, you would see that this particular oscillator circuit is being designed to get an oscillating frequency of 2.2 kilohertz, that is 2200 hertz. So instead of 2200 hertz, due to the drift in resistance value as well as the capacitance value, you are getting somewhere about 2.15 kilohertz, which is good enough. So you can say that accurately you have generated a sinusoidal voltage having a frequency of 2.15 kilohertz. Okay, so it is a sustained oscillation. So this is how we generate waveforms using an oscillator circuit in the absence of physical input signal. All right. Now, this is the first part of the experiment. That is generating the waveform. Now, what I will do, I will tabulate. So, what you have to do is you have to note down the waveform description in terms of amplitude and frequency. So this is the waveform observed. Okay, you can write it down in a paper. this waveform is being observed across collector terminal of the transistor and the ground terminal. Okay, so this waveform is observed across collector terminal. So we will call it as VC and ground. Okay. You can see I have written here. VC and ground. Okay. So this waveform is called as stage 1 output. Okay, why stage 1 output? Because we have 3 stages in RC phase shift oscillator circuit. So the stage 1 output. Okay, what is the description of this particular output? You write down Vmax is equal to 624 millivolts. Okay, and frequency is equal to 2.16 kilohertz. Okay, fine. Now what we will do is we will try to find out the phase shift in the first stage. Okay, what is the total phase shift given by the 3-stage RC network? 180 degree, correct? So that means to say each stage should give you about 180 degree divided by 3. That is 60 degree theoretical phase shift. Okay, so 60 degree is the theoretical phase shift that you are supposed to get it. Let's see practically, what kind of phase shift you are going to get it. Now, phase shift is always measured with respect to 2 waveforms. Now, how many waveforms do we have in our CRO screen? Only one, right? So what I will do, I will connect the second probe. This will be my second probe. This will be my second probe. This one is my phase terminal, and the black one, I'm going to take it as the neutral terminal. The second probe, I'm going to connect across the second stage. What is your second stage? Second stage is the junction of CNR. Second stage, junction of capacitance RC ladder network. Okay, in the manual, I have given properly. So what I will do, I will connect this to the second stage. Okay. And I will enable this second waveform. Okay. Now you can see that there is a small green waveform has appeared in the screen. I'll enable digital filter. Okay. Now you tell me, is it visible? First of all, can I get yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, are these two waveforms in phase? Can anyone tell me?
No, sir.
No, they are not in phase. Why they are not in phase? Because the circuit what we have used is not a pure resistive circuit. It is an RC circuit. So in RC circuit, you are expected to have some phase shift. So let's see what kind of phase shift you are going to get it. All right. So to measure the phase shift, okay, what you can do is you can go for classical way of measurement. Okay, what is the classical way of measurement? You know that one cycle corresponds to 360 degrees. Okay, one cycle corresponds to 360 degrees. So what you have to do is adjust any one of the waveform to the origins. So what I have done over here is the green waveform to the origin. Now taking this
Sir, your
green
voice is
waveform,
breaking.
okay, you are able to hear my voice, right?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah. That's because, I have a laptop kept in the other table. So when I move around, there will be slight um, dip in voice. I'll make sure that when the content needs to be conveyed, I will, deliver it in a higher tone. Okay, fine.
Yes,
So
the green signal is being adjusted to the origin. Now let us see how many divisions it would take to cover a complete cycle. Okay. So each box is considered as one division, and each box is consisting of 5 subdivisions. Okay, so that means to say the resolution of each digit is 0.2 units, because 0.2 into 5 becomes 1 unit. So let's see how many units the green waveform is taking to complete one full cycle. Okay, what do you mean by one cycle? A set of positive half cycle and a set of negative half cycle constitutes one cycle, correct? So let me count: one box, two box, three box, four box. Okay. And fifth box is not completely covered. So one, two, three, four full boxes, and then 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. So basically it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.6 units. Okay. So write down 4.6 corresponds to 360 degrees. Are you getting the point? The wave is getting completed in 4.6 divisions. So one full cycle is 360 degrees. So one full cycle is equal to 4.6 divisions. That's the reason here you can see 4.6 corresponds to 360 degree. Okay. That means to say this particular offset, the distance between the green waveform and the starting point of yellow waveform, is considered as the phase shift. So what is the difference between the starting point of green waveform and the starting point of yellow waveform? Can anyone tell me? How many divisions? Roughly it is 4 subdivisions. So each subdivision is equal to 0.2 value. So 0.8 division. So 0.8 division corresponds to how many degrees? Cross multiplication, you are supposed to do it. Okay. So when you do cross multiplication, what happens? 360 degree into 0.8 divided by 4.6. Can anyone tell me? 4.6 division is corresponding to 360 degrees. 0.8 division corresponds to how many degrees? So that is the phase shift of stage 1.
62.6.
Exactly. 360 into 0.8 divided by 4.6. So that is 62.6 degrees. Okay, approximately you could say 62 degrees, correct? So this is the calculation. Are you able to see this calculation?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So that's how we calculate the phase shift. What was our aim? Our aim was to get a theoretical phase shift of 60 degree. In place of 60 degree, we are getting 62 degrees of phase shift. Good enough. You can say that it's a very good, RC network. Okay, fine. That's not it. The second waveform amplitude we are supposed to find out, because in the end, whatever result you get, you have to furnish this result in the form of a graph. Okay, that's the task of an electrical as well as electronics engineer. So what we will do, I will enable the measurement for the channel 2 waveform. Channel 2 waveform is my green waveform. I'll enable voltage, I'll enable Vmax. Okay, so what's the maximum value? So the maximum value of second stage output is equal to 132 millivolt. Okay, so Vmax for stage 2 is 132 millivolts. Okay, write it down. A frequency remains same because it's a same oscillator socket. Okay. So we will take this Vmax as VC2. Okay, so angle between VC and VC2 is equal to phi 1, or sorry, VC1 we will take. VC1 is equal to phi 1, and that is equal to 62 degrees. Anand sir? Anand sir? Anand sir? Anand sir? Note here. Okay, this is how I am furnishing the result. This is how I have written. Stage 1 I have taken as VC. Stage 2 output, that is my green output, which is having a maximum value of 132 millivolts. So I have written down. Okay, so angle between the yellow waveform, which is VC, and the green waveform, which is VC1, is 62 degree. Okay, so this is how I am supposed to furnish my results. Okay, fine. Now what I will do, I will shift to second stage. Okay. Don't worry, all these results I will give you in the end. So this is my basically stage 2 output. Okay, stage 2 output. Okay, I haven't taken stage 1 output. So what I will do, I will shift to stage 1 now. Okay, stage 2, we have already found the phase shift is 62 degrees. Okay, I will shift to stage 1. So stage 1 is across the collector. I missed that one. I should have taken that first. That's okay, no worries. Collector and the first stage RC junction. As you can see, the wave is lot bigger. We will reduce the scale. This is my stage 1 output. Okay. I will adjust the waveform in such a way that the green is set at the center or the origin. Okay. So I'll slightly modify stage 2 output. Let me take VC2, and in stage 1, okay, let me take VC as the collector to ground voltage. Okay, what is VC? VC, that is collector to ground voltage, is the yellow waveform. And what is the amplitude? 3.84 volts. So write down VC is equal to 3.84 volts. Okay. On the other hand, VC1, okay, VC1 is your green waveform, which is roughly about 600 millivolts. 600 millivolts. So here it is. Stage 1, VC collector to ground voltage is 3.84 and VC1 is 600 millivolt and frequency is 2.16 kilohertz. Okay. Now let us find out stage 1 phase shift. Okay. Stage 1 phase shift. You know that you can see the green waveform, right? It is taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.6 divisions. So once again, it remains the same. 4.6 division corresponds to 360 degree. And the difference between the starting points of two waveform corresponds to how many degrees? So that is the phase shift, right? So the difference is once again 0.8 units. 0.8 units. So once again, the phase shift, you will get it something like phi 1 is equal to 0.8 into 360 degree divided by 4.6. So once again, you are getting it as 62 degrees. 62 degrees. So first stage gives 62 degrees. Second stage gives 62 degrees. Okay, you have already seen, correct? So this is your stage one. Now let me recreate the previous scenario, that is stage two. Let me increase the scale. Okay. Now also you can observe that the difference between the two waveform is again 0.8 divisions. Okay. And your green waveform is taking 4.6 divisions to complete one full cycle. So stage two is also giving you 62 degrees of phase shift. Okay. And you note down the stage two output. Okay. How much is it? It's about 138 to 140 millivolts. That's fine. Earlier we had taken 132 millivolts. Doesn't matter. Okay. You can take it at 138 or 140 millivolts. Okay. Note down the phase shift. Okay. That is 62 degrees. Fine. And then finally, let us go to stage three. So what should be the phase shift of stage three? So you can use this formula to absorb the observation errors, because all readings what we are taking is manually, right? So in order to absorb, sorry, the manual error, what you can do is phi 3 is equal to theoretical phase shift should be 180 degree of feedback network, right? So it is 180 degree minus summation phi 1 plus phi 2. Okay. So that is 180 degree minus phi 1. What is phi 1? 62 degree plus phi 2 again 62 degree. Okay. So 180 minus 124 degree basically. So in and around the third stage should give you a phase shift of 56 degrees. Okay. Here is the calculation. Here is the calculation. Okay. Phi 3 is equal to total phase shift, that is 180 degree of the feedback network, minus summation of previous two stage phase shifts. That's 62 plus 62. So this is how you can calculate the third stage phase shift. Okay. If you don't follow this method, what will happen is sometimes, you will end up in giving 62 degree phase shift. Okay. So what will happen? The total phase shift becomes 186 degrees. So it is 6 degrees greater than what is expected, right? So that's the reason to absorb the manual error. You can use this, formula. Okay. Nevertheless, you need to find the amplitude of stage 3 output. Okay, let us call it as VC3. Okay, no worries. I'll shift it to stage 3. Let's see how much we get it. So stage 3 output will be very, very small. That's because of the loading effect. Okay, because as you go on adding resistors in parallel, what will happen? The net resistance decreases, right? The net resistance decreases, due to which the voltage value will also be reducing, because output voltage is directly proportional to output current into the load resistance. If the load resistance is smaller, and we are making it smaller, by connecting one resistance in parallel with the other. So that's the reason you can see that the output voltage, that is the green waveform, right? The green waveform is having a very low amplitude, and the amplitude is about 60 millivolts. Okay. And it is not properly sinusoidal. So I have to slightly in the pot to get it to sinusoidal wave shape. You see, I have lost the synchronism. Okay, fine. Now this is kind of sinusoidal. Okay, let me slightly increase the amplitude. Sorry, not the amplitude. Scale I am increasing. It's something like I am performing zoom in and zoom out option. Okay, all right. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what is the separation angle between the yellow waveform, separation division between or the distance between the yellow waveform and the green waveform? Quickly, can anyone tell me? So VC3, I will note down.
0.6.
It is 42 millivolt. Okay. How many divisions? 3 divisions. So what is the division value? Each subdivision is equal to 0.2 units. It is 0.6 volts. Sorry, not 6 volt, 0.6 units. Okay. So 360 corresponds to 4.6 divisions. 360 degree corresponds to 4.6 division. And 0.6 division corresponds to how many degrees? So do the cross multiplication. So phi 3 is equal to 0.6 into 360 degree divided by 4.6. How much will you get?
47.
Yeah, 47 degrees. Okay. And theoretically, how much you were supposed to get it? 56 degrees.
56.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. Because we are doing manual observation, right? So you are prone to introduce error. This is called as in measurements. This particular problem is classified as observational errors. Okay. So in order to absorb that observational error, in the third stage, you can use that formula. Phi 3 is equal to 180 degree minus summation phi 1 plus phi 2. Okay. So that concludes this experiment. So the aim of this particular experiment was to generate sinusoidal waveform that we have generated. The theoretical oscillation frequency was set at 2.2 kilohertz, but we have obtained a practical oscillation frequency of 2.17 kilohertz. So the objective is met. Okay. And the second objective of this particular experiment is to get a phase shift of 180 degree, which we have successfully achieved. Okay. Stage 1 gave us about 62 degrees of phase shift. Stage 2 gave us about 62 degrees of phase shift. And stage 3 gave us about 56 degrees of phase shift. So this completes this particular experiment. Okay. So what I will do is I will send a sample graph. Okay. Sample graph. So this sample graph will help you in plotting the waveform. So what you have to do is in a single linear graph sheet, you are supposed to draw the three waveforms. VC, VC1, VC2, and VC3. VC is collector to ground waveform. VC1 to VC3 are individual stage waveforms. Okay. Fine then. Any doubts regarding this experiment? You can tell me. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So what I will do, Anand sir, circuit to a signal. I'll just show you the top view of this. Now I can insert this. So, sir will disconnect ropes because the wires are short. Now, sir will show you the top view of the circuit. Okay, and this is this is R1, this is R2, this is RC, and this is RE, and this is your bypass capacitor. And can you see these small objects? These are ceramic capacitors of rating 0.01 microfarad. All right. So this is your first capacitor and the first R. Second capacitor, second R. Third capacitor and the third R. This is the third R, which we have used as the waveform adjustment